First, we will go through the introduction of ISO. Basically, ISO is an organization that's named as International Organization for Standardization. ISO is the short name given to this organization. It is not the abbreviation. The founding members of this organization wanted a name that would remain common throughout languages. So if this would have been an abbreviation, this would change as per the language. So while deciding for a name, they came across a Greek word which was isos, which meant equal. The meaning of this word was in sync to the purpose of the organization. The purpose was to establish equal standards, and that's why they derived this word ISO from the Greek word isos. This organization is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and the purpose of this organization is to collate international best practices, put them in a format and release them as standards or requirements. Any organization that implements those best practices can go ahead for certification or registration for that particular standard. Till that, ISO has released more than 19,000 set of standards and documents. This organization came into existence in the year 1947. Now, the requirement of this organization was generated during the Second World War in 1942, around 1942. So during the Second World War, what happened? There were different group of countries that were fighting together with the opposition group of countries. Now, during the Second World War, one of the armies for a nation fell short of their weapons. And instead of getting the weapons deported from their home country, they opted to purchase them from a neighboring friend country. And there came challenges. The army of this nation was not trained on how to use the weapons, armors for a different nation. So they faced several challenges. So the war leaders started thinking around the lines, if there would have been an international standard around manufacturing and practicing the weapons, they would be at par. So taking this as an input, this organization was institutionalized in the year 1947. Now, as the requirement was generated during war, so initial standardizations were around manufacturing of war-related inventory, weapons, armors. Now, post-standardization, they came across the second benefit of standardization. So let's say these are 4 different nations that are following the same standard. Now, if one of the nations is manufacturing the weapons following the standard, they can sell those weapons to a different nation. So international trade was the second benefit, which later became the primary motto of the organization, establishing international trade. So anything that is manufactured following a particular standard can be easily traded between nations who are following the same standard. Right? Now, if we talk about standards, standards in the industry are divided into 2 groups. One is the and the other is the product standard, such as ISI mark for electrical goods, electronics, hallmark for jewelry, ag mark for agricultural products, wool mark for wool products. All the ISO standards are process standards. Now, why process? Why do we need a process standard? So, ISO works on a theme that any organization should be dependent on the processes it follows or it deploys, not on the people it employs. The soul of ISO is do what you say and say what you do. Organization should always be process dependent. Now, what are the benefits of being process dependent? Process dependency ensures predictability, it ensures repeatable results, identical outputs. Process dependency would lay off people dependence, in the organization. What else? What do you think are the benefits of being process driven?
No personal dependency.
Then less variation in the outputs of the process.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Any standard of ISO recommends a process-driven organization. Now, ISO standards are also divided into two group of documents. One is the requirement document and the other is supporting or the guideline documents. For any organization to be certified on a particular standard, the requirements mentioned in requirement documents are mandatory to be implemented. For ISO 9001, if you take an example, ISO 9001 2008 is the requirement document. The name of this document is Quality Management System Requirements. One of the supporting or guideline documents for ISO 9001 is ISO 9000 2005. The name of this document is Quality Management System Fundamentals and Vocabulary. So all the technical words that are used in 9001-2008, the requirement document, the explanation of those words can be looked in the supporting document. So guideline documents help the organization or individuals to understand and implement the requirements covered in the requirement document. So these documents are not meant for certification. Certification would only be basis the requirement document. So these are not auditable, non-implementable. One of the supporting documents for ISO 9000 is 9004 2009. The name of this document is Managing for the Sustained Success of an Organization of Quality Management Approach. So this document has set of best practices that are good to have for an organization. So there is an organization that wants to go ahead for ISO 9001 certification. So for certification, they will need to implement the requirements mentioned in the requirement document. But post implementation, if they want to increase their maturity vis-a-vis processes and best practices, they can implement the best practices mentioned in 9004. But even if they implement these best practices, they will be certified on 9001. This is just to help the organization increase the maturity. One of the examples that I would like to quote here is 9001-2008. The requirement document talks about customer satisfaction, whereas 9004-2009 talks about 360-degree satisfaction. Satisfaction of all the interested parties, the customers, the employees, the stakeholders, the vendors, everybody put together. So obviously that would take the maturity level above the 9001 requirement level. Now, 9001 never tells to do anything extra. It would just reinforce the processes that the organization is already following. Yes.